It took me about a month, actually a bit over a month, but I finally beat Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I'm not saying that the actual playtime was a month. I think I beat it in 54 hours, and that was doing side content. But it was like a few days ago that I beat it. I pre-ordered this game back in January and played it on release, and I really, really enjoyed it. It just took me a while because I was busy with university, obviously. I had to put my deadlines first. But I beat it, and it's a 10 out of 10. I cannot recommend this game enough. Even if you're skeptical of the turn base, I guarantee it is that dynamic that you will not have a problem with it. And if you're just putting it off playing it just because you see turn based, don't. This is one of the most phenomenal games ever. It is so innovative on a genre that I've kind of got a new standard expectation for turn based. Not saying that everything needs dodging and parrying, but there is definitely ways that you can make shit more interactive in a genre which has been static for so long. I think my best kind of explanation of the game is turn-based traditionally feels kind of like a math equation. You've got numbers and stats, you've got the move, you're just kind of calculating the multipliers and shit, and then you're just sort of picking the best formula. This one's got a lot more skill checks. It's got the same formula thing with like your stats that'll affect it, and then you've got the unique abilities. But it's like there's different formulas for each character, which makes it already way more fun to play. And not only that, you have your own skill checks. You have to have a good input. You have to kind of contribute to the outcome of your moves, with whether that's the timing, using the QTEs, dodging, parrying, they can all have a massive effect. And it really, really is fun. And this is my first turn-based game since Pokemon, so that is a big Actually, no, I played a bit of a Final Fantasy remake, which was it was alright. I didn't play much of it. But yeah, other than that turn-based, my only real experience was with Pokemon, which gets a bit boring after a while. Like, playing the old ones is such a grind, especially without the XP share. But no, this is a really, really fun one, and that's enough yapping about the gameplay. Let's talk about the story. Spoilers ahead, so if you don't want spoilers, click off. You've heard my thoughts. I've really enjoyed it and I recommend it. Such a good narrative, and I think it's definitely kind of a commentary. Like at the end, it all pieces together. So the story is kind of mysterious for the most part. It's kind of like an Attack on Titan vibe, I'd say, where you have little pieces given to you here and there, but you don't figure out all the overarching shit until the very end. And it all clicks into place, and it's the most satisfying feeling ever. It is definitely, at the end, you can tell it is kind of a commentary on what's the fucking, is it parasocial or poly? No, parasocial. Yeah, parasocial kind of relationships, where and escapism. Because obviously, this is something I kind of struggled with. Escapism. I escape into video games way too much. Honest to God, sometimes there is some worlds where I'd much prefer to live in. But that is a problem because obviously there's the real world. You've got a life to live. There are plenty of great things out there. This game really, really does explore that if you pick the. There's multiple endings, and one is definitely a good ending, one's a bad. I would recommend this game if you struggle with that sort of stuff, because then you can really kind of understand a commentary on the damage it can cause and the dangers of it. But yeah, and obviously this is shown through Mael and Aline. With Renoir, although he's portrayed as the antagonist for the most part, he is in the right, and that is undoubtable throughout. Me and my mates have been discussing that. But yeah, those Mael and Aline are just so overcome with grief and guilt that they use this canvas as a escape. First, the problem is with Aline. Like, she misses her son so much that she goes to live a life in the painting with a fabrication of her son that she's created and conjured with his soul and made immortal. She is overtaken by grief for her son. And then Mael, when she figures out that she is a painter too, kind of sees the opportunity and overcome by guilt and grief because she feels responsible for Verso's death. She wants to spend more time with the brother that she lost, that gave his life for her, and she feels so guilty for, and that she misses. And not only that, she's kind of feels there's nothing else for her outside of this canvas, whereas she feels like someone in the inside the canvas, like, and that's definitely something that a lot of people can relate to, myself including. I sometimes get into a very negative state of mind where I feel that reality has nothing for me, and I'd much prefer to escape into my games and stuff, or my TV series or whatnot. So yeah, I think it is a really, really well done commentary on it and kind of warning of the dangers. It's definitely made me realize a lot more kind of like I've always known that I shouldn't and stuff, but this really put it into a new perspective for me, and I'm hoping that people who do struggle and play this game see what I see and are really touched by it. It's a phenomenal game, really well written. And yeah, that's kind of enough talking about the narrative. That's the main kind of thing I want to talk about. Everything else, like the characters, the twists, and the structure of the game, I want you all to experience yourself. Obviously, I've just said the biggest spoiler in the game. This even then, there's still so much more to the game, and it's really, really beautiful. And one thing I would massively like to talk about is the developers. Sandfall Interactive, phenomenal work. And for a group primarily composed of junior developers that used to work at like Ubisoft and such, it is such phenomenal work. It runs well, that might again be my rig, but I've not heard any complaints other than minor stuttering, which is obviously an effect of Unreal Engine and the way that's set up, which is being improved in the next version. So never know, maybe they'll release a engine upgrade patch which fixes all those issues at some point. We'll wait and see. CDPR and Epic Games are really hard at work with the future Unreal versions, so that could benefit. But even then, just the designs of the characters and enemies, the gameplay design, level design is, for the most part, good. I do wish we kind of had a map when re-exploring some areas. But yeah, that's like only a minor complaint, and I still managed to beat the game, find most of the stuff. It would have been easier with a map, which maybe that would have made the game more boring. I don't know. And one thing I really need to praise is the music, because my god, a random Donny on SoundCloud, where the lead, would it be producer? He like the head honcho at Sandfall found one post with this guy's music and said, "Fuck it, let's work together." He said yes, and they have created such a phenomenal soundtrack. It's one of my top soundtracks in gaming. Which again, a soundtrack is probably the most powerful thing for me for a game. If your soundtrack like absolutely grabs me, I'm probably gonna enjoy this game no matter what. It's happened with Cyberpunk, amazing soundtrack. Will the Wisp, phenomenal soundtrack. Ark, soundtrack is the best part about that game. Like soundtracks do a lot for me. This game's no different. I love it, and it was incredible, and I highly recommend listening to it. Not to mention they got the Donny who sings like a bunch of the Devil May Cry stuff. Like, bro, when I heard Deuce to a Mare, you'll know the track when I'm talking about because it is probably my favourite track in the entire game, and it's part of a trilogy of tracks. But the Donny who sings in there, I thought it sounded familiar, and when I found out that he sung Bury the Light, it all kind of clicked in there. It is phenomenal work, and I cannot praise this game enough. If you've not played it or are skeptical, just try it. It's on Game Pass if you don't want to spend money, but even then, it's a cheap game. It's not a full price, like 70 quid tile. No, I got it for like 35 quid, because that was a pre-order sale. I think it's 40. Let me go have a look. It's 42 quid. That is a fine price and a well... Honestly, I probably would have bought this game at full price. That's how good it is. Also, I'm glad it's not full price because it saved me a bit of money, but yeah, I cannot recommend this game enough. Try it. And that is about it. See ya. This is my game of the year.